Hey everyone, I wanted to jump in just before the video started to say thank you so much for the support in the last video. With over 900 views, 27 likes, and comments that have been incredibly helpful. It really helps out our channel. I do record these videos in advance as life tends to get in the way, but I want to tell you thank you so much for the support, and let's jump in to Oxygen Not Included. Hello everyone and welcome back to Addo's Playtime. Today we're jumping back into Oxygen Not Included. Now, in the last episode, we finished up our geothermal power and it was a beast. It took me forever because I couldn't remember how to do it, and it just took a little bit longer than I wanted to. You may ask why we left this little gap right here. Well, that's just in case we ever want to expand this out if we ever get the opportunity, adding on a few more generators and things of that nature, because, you know, power is necessary. At the same time, we kind of cored out as much as we could. We are to a point that everything that I think I can core out, I did core out. We have a little bit left over here, some a little bit over here, but for the most part, everything is taken care of. Also, we prepared ourselves the area that we're going to be doing our petroleum boiler, which is going to be our focus for today. So I believe that we have our vacuum in here so we can mess with our magma. And I believe that since there, like I said, there was this break in the abyssalite here, I'm going to just shunt a spike right into there, deep into that, and just let that be our thing. Let that be the thing that heats up our petroleum for our petroleum boiler. Now, I know I have a tendency ramble a little bit when I do my episodes. I do apologize for that. As I'm editing my episodes, I realized that they were getting very long with the amount of information that I was putting out there. On top of that, I just don't focus on one thing at a time. I try to do multiple different things all the time, and then I try to recap those things that I'm doing. I will do my best to stay as focused as possible on our petroleum generator, our petroleum boiler today. So that is it. So this may be a little bit shorter of a video than normal, as we do just are going to try to focus just on this and getting it done. But yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to do about a 4-layer pass through back and forth, with our heat spike being here, our petroleum getting boiled here, and then we'll have probably 10 kilos coming in through there. At the same time, we will start probably a nice, I'm thinking that my industrial sauna is going to be right here. I'm going to cut it out, go across, and I'm going to butt it in right up against this. And why would I do that? Because I want to use this heat from these rocks in my petroleum boiler. And that way I can use the side of it maybe to heat up things and all that kind of a nature. Now, the big thing about it is yes, as you can see, I have a giant sweep command for the entire map right now, trying to get all these things swept up and then trying to figure out exactly where everything is going to go. I had a little bit of a problem. I have some liquid phosphorus in here. I believe that some things got a little too warm for that phosphorus, and it liquefied some things in that central storage that we have. So I'm gonna do what I did before. I'm gonna have that come out here and get into our base, and then this naturally just cools it off. I probably could do something to cool that off, but it's weird that I don't really notice anything being too hot. Things are in the 50s and 60s, but I didn't think that phosphorus liquefied at such a low temperature. Let's check out the stats on this real quick. So phosphorus turns into liquid at 243. So I'm not really sure how in the world that got there, but I also have some water in there, quite a bit of water to be honest. But yeah, we'll just go ahead and take care of that on the side. But again, I will stay focused. I promise to try to stay focused as much as I can. All right, so let me do what I usually do. So we need a little bit of a liquid lock in this, just because I want to keep the liquid lock to make sure no gases. If there's an accident in here, nothing gets into the petroleum boiler, because that would draw absolute chaos. And I do love having access to things. And then from there, I will come in and just core this sucker out as we need it. So once I get all that done, I will pop back in. I do want to apologize as well. I have been having some audio glitches. I don't know what that's from. I'm trying to troubleshoot it. I haven't quite figured out what is causing those like little stutters in my voice recording and the sound from the game. So I'm building a new machine. Hopefully it's going to help out a little bit, but I just can't figure out what it is that is causing those audio glitches, but we'll figure it out. Not to worry. But okay, so here we go. We are going to do our petroleum boiler, and I'm going to get this thing set up, and I will pop back in when we make some progress. Okay, so we are just about ready to start in on the spike part of it. So what we will do is we will start just as we did before by just digging this out. We're going to lose that abyssalite, but it's not that big a deal. And we're going to make some obsidian ladders so that we can use those in here. And I want to make this accessible. So I'm thinking that I'm going to actually do 2 tile high throughout this entire thing. I may go through and just completely destroy all this and build it as I want, but I haven't quite decided that yet. I also am going to insulate along the edges. So this is going to come up, and I believe I'm just going to try to get that spike all the way up kind of close here to the top, leaving myself the space that I need to do the piping in here. So like I said, we're going to have maybe 3 long runs of pipe down to here, and this will be where the petroleum ends and then gets shunted out. And then we're going to bring in our oil and drop it right into our spike thermal stuff. So once again, everything will be made in gold or in steel. So it's got to be those things. Everything has to be made in steel. If it's not, you're just hurting. So my plan is to have a door on top, and or diamond tiles on top, a door, more diamond or thermo diamond, and then some more stuff going down that way. So we will kind of get that planned out, and when we're getting ready to jump into the magma, I will pop back in. So this time I'm not going to dig anything out. I'm going to try to do some fancy angle building and just drive this spike down maybe 2, maybe 3 tiles deep into this. So I want to get these diamond tiles up first, and then this one as well, and then I'm going to put one right here, which should push everything out the way that it to the sides, and then I can angle build this one, angle build this one, delete this one, down as far as I really want to go. I could go down here to this obsidian if I wanted to, but I don't. It doesn't need to go down that far, and if I needed to in the future, like I said, I want to make this accessible so that I can get down in here and get the things that I want. So these right here, I don't think I need to insulate these, but yeah. So let's see what happens here. No, it did not go the way I planned. That's okay. I can still angle build these things like this on each side, push that down, maybe build this one, delete these tiles, and this is just going to be a process here. So I won't show you that. I don't think it's necessary for me to show that part, but we will get it done and maybe even get a little bit more of these side tiles built down. But it is going to push this magma over into the areas that we need it to be. So yeah, I'll keep plugging away at this, and I'll show you when the spike is done. All right, so this is going to be our heat spike. It's not quite a spike, is it? No, it's more like a heat block, but it'll pull in all of the heat that we will ever need for this thing. So what we'll do is we'll put some temperature shift plates going up, made out of diamond again, and we will that will be how we transfer our heat, and we will diagonal those. I am making these out of diamond, right? Yeah. That would be a great mistake. So anyways, this is all going to just kind of transfer that heat up as high as we need it to go. Some people will say that this is very excessive. They're 100% right. I also have made all of this out of ceramic. People will tell me that that is also excessive. I would agree. But when you have the resources, why not utilize them? So that takes care of this part of it. So now we have to figure out our pool and how we're going to transfer that heat. So the next thing we need to do is kind of figure out our pipeline. Now, as far as I understand, if I remember correctly, it's 24 by 10 tiles. So let's see, 24 by 9 goes to there. So we'll have to put in a little pool here for, you know, the petroleum to pool up for our pump to pump it out, which we can do right now. So let's remeasure that from here. We'll have to go up one more tile, but we'll pool it up right here. So this will be where we make a little pit for a steel pump. Right there. And from there, then we'll start counterflowing up our pipe, our radiant pipes, so that we can make sure. Now, gold will be what I make it out of. So we'll come up to here, go up 3, back across to probably about there, go up 3, and totally nailed it the first time. So this will be our kind of our counterflow. This will make it come up here, and then we will have it basically the petroleum counterflows against this, heating up the oil. And, or wait a minute, I have this backwards. This is where our petroleum will go up and out. So, my bad. Yeah, so liquid pump. That way we can figure out what we're doing here. We will go insulated again with ceramics. It'll go up and out into whatever it is that we need it to come into. We need power for this, made out of, we'll do conductive wire, and we'll make it out of steel, and it will go straight up here. And then we'll also need conductive wire in here somewhere, but we're not quite sure where that's going to go yet. So the oil will have to come in here and counterflow up probably 4 times now. So we may actually need to make this a little shorter. Let me look at some old designs and I will figure out exactly how I want it done. Okay, so I know it kind of looks like a mess, but let's walk through this and maybe I'll figure out what I've done wrong. I think what I figured out that I've done wrong is I technically have my petroleum coming in from the wrong side, or my oil coming in from the wrong side. So here's what's going to happen. So we're going to have a mechanized airlock heating up these diamond tiles, and we'll connect them via temp shift plates when the time comes, with a thermosensor made out of steel, automation wire going down to it, telling it to kick in and kick on as needed. We have gold radiant liquid pipes running along counterflowing, and unfortunately we won't be serviceable. I could have made it taller, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go with what I got. So this will pump in the petroleum. It'll come down, counterflow against this, bring in the oil, I'm sorry, crude oil, counterflow against the petroleum, come out here, drop down, cook it just a little bit, and boom. So we will have insulated tiles through here, 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 and here. And that will just have the counterflow perfect. Since it's in a vacuum, it'll flow great. It'll be wonderful. And then my plan is to have probably just tons and tons of liquid tanks stored up here. I mean, we can go through the majority of this, and I'll probably brick this in and let it flow over into this pool, eventually having this be our lowest point. But for now, because surprisingly, I am getting low on steel. So I need to get, the next project will be getting that done. But like I said at the beginning of this, I'm going to stay focused on my one project, which is this. I'm going to get it done. So let's let the dupes go at it. They've already started kind of insulating this area. It's going to be ceramic. I'll probably just igneous rock the insulation here. Not such a big deal. Temperatures will be ridiculous, but whatever. But I will ceramic in this wall here when it comes time to do so. I just want to make sure that this mechanized lock is good to go. I may actually reroute that electrical wire now that I'm thinking about it. I should bring it up and across like so, not through the door. So we'll cancel those out and I'll build that steel like so. Uses a little bit more, but that's okay. And then I'll probably just do gold amalgam down into this. I don't need something fancy as far as my pump for here. So let's put it in. And then even for the conductive wire, I could just go with gold and put that there. This is just igneous rock, insulated pipe. I did insulated because, yeah. And so that should be good here. But everything else in here is steel, diamond, ceramic, a little bit of igneous. It's going to be wonderful. So I will pop back in and we will watch the dupes do their thing. Okay, so we've basically got this done, but all of the sudden I seem to have sour gas in here. I have no idea what I left in here to turn in. It's gotta be the abyssalite. I took everything out of here and I'm not sure what it is, but it completely, and now a little bit of oil somehow got in here. And boom, now we have sour gas in here as well. I have no idea what happened to make that happen, but because of the sour gas, I can't control the temperature, which means that it's immediately going to turn into sour gas when it comes here. So I'm going to have to go back to a previous save, see what it is that I left in here, take care of it somehow. Our dupes worked so hard on this, but there is absolutely no way I can save this at this point. I mean, I could put pumps in and I could vacuum this out, but I can't vacuum this out. I mean, I could bust it out and I have no idea what it is that was down here that turned to sour gas. The only thing I could think about it was the abyssalite or obsidian. Those were the two things that I left. I'll have to look over if they can turn into sour gas. I mean, can abyssalite turn into sour gas? Turns into tungsten. Tungsten gas. Okay. Obsidian. Obsidian turns into magma. And it turns into rock gas at 2,000 degrees. We're not even close to that. There had to be something else in here that I didn't see that turned in. I mean, can diamond turn into it? I mean, I don't know. Ah, man. So I'm going to load up a previous save and see how much more work we've got to do. But, oh my gosh, that's so disappointing. That's so incredibly disappointing. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're not that bad, honestly. It's not that far. There are a few things that I will change because I had to move this up because it was flooded and all that stuff. I went ahead and put a priority 9 sweep on this stuff to get it out. Like I said, I just don't know what's there. I really don't know what was there that caused that to turn to sour gas. I don't see anything. Even there's no gases, there's no liquids, there's metal, mineral. I mean, all we have is the obsidian and the abyssalite. Consumable, organic. I mean, there's nothing there. I have no idea what it what turned into it? Yeah, I mean, I'm at a loss. So we're gonna just let that get picked up. Okay, so now there's absolutely nothing in there. So we'll get back to this. We'll let the dupes get back at this and finish this off, and we'll pop back in where we were about the last time. So I'll let them rebuild this. If you build it, they built it. So anyways, I'll be right back. Okay, and with those last final sweeping and bricks, we have finally completed it. Oh my gosh, that was quite a triple build, and I say triple on purpose. I found out what it was. So I had destroyed these tiles and the tiles next to it, and then replaced these with ceramics. And when I did that, I thought if you replaced an existing tile, it just did it automatically. That is what spilled over oil into the bottom and into here, causing us to flash to sour gas. When I was doing it the second time after the reload is when I realized what had happened. So that's what it is. Now, I also just went ahead and put our, I'm going to call this hammer, our spike, diamond hammer into this all the way up, just because I wasn't noticing that these temp shift plates were transferring that heat very quickly. I also put some window diamond tiles in here just to help out with that heat transfer. Now, if it doesn't work out, I can break back in here and get that and put some diamond tiles in here. Not a big deal. So we are ready to prime the system. So this is going to have a temperature of absolute 0. So it's going to always say that it's negative 700 and whatever in a vacuum. So what we need to do is connect all of our pipes. So this is our pipe that's going to connect into here from our oil. So we're going to cancel out all that because we don't want it to do anything crazy. I'm actually thinking too, I may replace this with some airflow tiles, and I may just pile up oil here and call it good. I think that would be a good idea, is to replace all of this with airflow, pool up some petroleum here just to have, and then probably do tanks of it from there. I don't know. I haven't decided exactly yet, but I'm gonna have to figure something out. If I'm gonna do it, I might as well think about doing it now. So yeah. So let's go ahead and prime the system. I want to get this working and flowing it through. Now it's going to take quite a bit of just kind of goosing it to get it going. So I'm connecting all of the power there. Why are you no power? Oh, I gotta turn it on. So we're gonna let a few blobs kind of come through to begin with. That's enough. We will let it go through and come out on the other side. I'll go a little bit faster. And I just want this to pool up. Now, if it's, we're going to just say above right now. We want it to not open up. So if it's above that, we want it to send a green signal. Or below? I don't know. We're going to watch this very carefully. No, I guess whoops. We actually probably want that to be steel. So here comes our crude oil coming up this. We'll speed that up just a little bit. I want to catch it right when it gets there, just because I don't want it to do anything crazy in flash. Now, this tile is pretty cold, but as soon as it touches this thermo sensor, it's going to send a signal. And I really don't know. I can never remember if I want to be above or below. Oh, I think I want to be below, because that just got our temperature a little high. Okay, so if we are above, we want to do that. So we're going to start with a nice, easy 100. So it's going to heat that up. Now we're transferring some heat. Good. So let's go a little higher. Let's go to 150. Now, if I remember correctly, it's got to be somewhere around, yeah, almost 400 to go into petroleum. But then from petroleum to sour gas is 100 or a little more, 150-ish kind of degrees. So as I was afraid of, it's not really transferring that heat very well. Okay, so what we will do is we will bust in here. I'm going to sweep those things up immediately. The last thing I need is for those to turn into liquid, and then, yeah, that'll be awesome. So I'll pop back in when we get all of this switched over to diamond tiles. All right, so we did it. We got it a lot closer here. Now, these temp shift plates are hot, and so is these window tiles. I'm sure I could have just, you know, replaced those into window tiles, but it's all right. We're gonna go with what we got. So now we can start goosing this thing up just a little bit more. So if it is below, or no, we'll go above. So it's going to heat it up just a little bit, 300. So see how quickly it transfers that heat, like very quickly, to be honest with you. So we'll just go, we will slow this down. Give it a little more heat. There we go. It's looking pretty good. 360. Petroleum is good. Let's go up a little higher. Let's go up to, I don't know, let's say 370. All right. Let's goose it up one more. Oop. All righty. It's pretty hot. Let's go ahead and hook this up. Probably should have saved before we did that. Oh boy. We are really close to petroleum. And I'm going to say if it's above a ridiculous amount. Wow. Actually, that is very, very close. I almost made a huge mistake there. I probably should have put more petroleum or more crude oil in it to begin with. Oh my gosh. That was another almost mistake. By the skin of our teeth did we make that. I should have had probably a kilo or so of stuff in there. All right. So now we probably are going to have too much, which is quite awful. So let's cut it off there. Let's add some more stuff to that. Just. All right. Now we want to be. Raise that up. Nope. Yeah. Let's just let it be. If I remember correctly, you don't have to go that much temperature. Because 400's pretty high. I don't know if I want to go that high. Oh my gosh. And as I said before, I'm not an expert. So let's try this again. So we want to take this and we want to say, if you are above 27 degrees, engage, right? Okay. So let's take this up a little bit. Just a little bit. Let's say 100. Go. Getting that oil up there. So we have about a little less than a kilo, or yeah, so we had about 900 kilograms. So let's go a little bit higher. So let's say 145. Nice and easy. Okay. 170. Let's say 180. So it shoots up really quick. Let's add some more oil. Once we get the counterflow going, this will work a lot better. I just don't want it to flash. I say we maybe do I'll tell you what, I will fill it up to at least one tile and then we'll cut back in. Okay, so we got it about 1 tile's worth of crude oil here. So we're just going to slowly bring that temp up. Nice and slow. Wait for it to stabilize. And get it up a little higher. 221. Let's go up to 39. Getting really close. I know this seems a little bit tedious, but I know it's gonna work because this is how I did it the very first time I ever did it, to find that perfect temperature, because it's not quite the temperature that you think it's gonna be. It's like a few degrees below. But now with there being more mass here, it's gonna be a lot better. And this thing will normalize a lot quicker. We're getting very close. This could be about it. What temperature are we looking for? 399. Okay. Let's go to, we'll take it a little quick. Let's do 325. Let it go up. There we go. Pouring that heat in. Good. 345. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. And so now this petroleum is going up here. And it's gonna preheat these pipes. So we're at 207. So the reason I put the insulated pipe there is to help that out just a little bit. So let's take this up a little bit higher. Because the last thing we need is the petroleum to flash into sour gas like we've had done so many times. Man, I thought this was going to be a short episode. Okay. Here we go to, let's go to 369. All right. And actually, let's go ahead and put a little bit more oil in that. We still have quite a bit of oil in there. But with no counterflowing, it's going to kind of not preheat it. So that is the big thing, is the preheating is where we need to be. So now we're down to very little crude oil. And fortunately, it's right here. It's the other reason I put the thermosensor here, is that oil will drip down right here on top of it and give us the most accurate kind of. So let's see here. This crude oil is coming in at 78 degrees. Let's see what it is once it gets past here. So it's going through this nice hot stuff and it's coming out at 166 degrees. Leaving that this doesn't have to give too much more temperature for this thing to pop it into petroleum, which is a good thing for us because we don't want it to overheat the petroleum, which it feels like it's going to. So let's knock this temperature down. That was really close, I think. Still good. Still in a vacuum. That petroleum seemed like it was flashing. We have, I mean, we were close to 600, I thought there for a second. Let's put a little bit more of this in. And keep it going. And I will I will pop back in when things get a little bit better. Oh, now we're overheating there. Oh, great. All right, I'll fix that and I'll let some of this go in. I will pop back in when I get this thing rolling. Pressure damage. Uh-oh. That's not good. That is very, very not good. After much trial and error, I think we may have figured it out. Almost. So we did a few things to adjust some of the temperature transition. The first thing we did is we added these 2 temperature shift plates here just to get that transition there a little bit better. Our thermosensor currently is set at 410, which is giving us our oil in, and it's going up, but it's gonna be probably too hot. I'm probably gonna have to make that go down just a little bit, just because I do not want it flashing inside of here. We are definitely serviceable. I think one of the problems I was having was I was having this go through too much. It was just too much. The other thing was I changed all of the inside insulated tiles from ceramic to obsidian. Maybe thinking it was harder. I don't know. That could be true. It could be not. I gave myself lots of extra space here so that the flashing doesn't throw and get the pressure. I double insulated this. I didn't want to change it here as far as ceramic goes, but I put another layer of igneous, and then we even still have this on that side. So there's no way that it's going to break through on that side. It is 3 tiles deep. But yeah, we also changed this to obsidian as well. This is still ceramic. The top is still ceramic. And these are ceramic pipes, and these are still gold. The steel is good now, so we should, I don't know what properties. The melting point for this is ridiculous, so it's not like that's gonna go anytime soon. Now, one thing I did do is I did want a pool of water, or a pool of petroleum here. So whenever it's above the 50 kilograms, it's gonna go ahead and kick on and do its thing and pump everything out. Now, we can regulate this, and I am thinking about putting a valve in to do 9 kilograms a second, just because I think that these put out 3.33 kilograms of crude oil. So there's really, I need to make this work with 9 kilograms. So that's why I'm saying I'm pretty sure that I'm going to drop this temperature. Let's put it at 405 and let's see how that does. I mean, we're coming in at 350. It needs a little goose, and then boom, it's over the top. Anything above 400 is going to make it change its state almost instantly. You will see sometimes it'll have like a little blob of it, like right there where it's flashing colors. But I mean, this is at 400 degrees and it needs to be 399 to turn into petroleum. But this seems to be working for now. One of the things, like I said, I'm going to eventually need to do some automation, probably where this here turns off when this is full, so that we don't sit here and just pool. I mean, I can save it up for days, but yeah, I don't want to do that. Now, the next big thing to do is to make sure our slicksters are putting out some petroleum for us as well. I'm not going to count on them to give me oil. I'm going to calculate everything down by this 3.33, which is basically 10. It's almost 10, but it's just short, and I want to just be able to do it on 9. If I can do all my numbers with 9, I think it'll go great. So this was incredibly frustrating, and I may have some blooper reels about this particular one, because it was driving me nuts trying to figure this out. And I know I've built these before, and I know that I've done it. I just don't understand like why I was struggling so bad with this one. I don't know. The last time I did a petroleum boiler, it was with a heat spike and everything, and I did just fine. I can't imagine people that do it with the volcanoes. I don't even want to know. But yeah, so I hope that you've enjoyed this episode as much as I've enjoyed trying to figure out all the mistakes that I had made. If you do enjoy, please make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're trying to get past 20 subscribers. That's where we're at right now. So if you can help me out by subscribing, it definitely helps out the algorithm. But this has been Addo's Playtime. Please keep gaming for the love of games. Bye now.